Hi, welcome to lesson number 10. Today's lesson is going to feel a lot like a lesson that we had just a couple weeks ago. So remember when we worked with the C scale? Today we're going to work with the G scale. So we've already covered this too. So again, it's going to be a little bit more of a review lesson and diving into the different names, the tonic and the dominant and things like that. But overall, it shouldn't be too bad of a lesson, pretty average. So let's get started. We'll again begin here in our theory book. We're on page 18. And if you look at this page, it looks almost exactly the same as the C scale page did. You're going to do the same stuff. So it's talking about whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. So if you remember, we did the whole, whole, half, whole, 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 half. That's the major scale pattern. So you're going to go ahead and you're going to draw this diagram here. And then using these markings, you're going to draw the G scale here and here, and then put the whole step and half step marks between the notes, okay? Pretty simple, same thing. Our fingering is gonna be the same as the C scale. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 on the top. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 3, 2, 1, and then going back the opposite way. And then in G major, the tonic note is, okay, what would the tonic be in G major? If you remember, tonic is your first note. Tonic up to dominant and leading tone to G. Okay, so the leading tone is the only one that's going to be a little bit tricky for you. This leading tone is the F sharp. Okay, leading tone to G. So just make sure you put the F sharp in there. And then it says, circle the following for each example. 3 tonic tones, 1 dominant tone, and 2 leading tones. You're going to circle those in there. Okay, and then we get to improvise again. So in any order you can use, you're going to be in this G scale, major scale pattern over here. It's telling you to just remember that you have to have an F flat if you're going to use it. So any of these notes, it's giving you some examples. You can play repeated notes, dun, 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 dun. You can play tonic and dominant or leading tones. Okay, it says make up a short musical pattern, repeat them higher and lower. So you can try some of these different things with this. I'm going to give you a quick example with the teacher part and just an example of how you can improv. So I'm just going to really be making this up as I go along, as should you. Play it a few times and you can then turn it into something solid if you like certain patterns that you've done, and kind of compose your own song. But I'll just give you an example. So it's going to start in 4 beats. 1, 2, ready, go. So now it's your turn. You can just make up whatever you want. Use that teacher duet on the website and go for it. We have one more page here in our theory book before we're going to move on. And again, this is very familiar. We have a page earlier that's just like this. So we're going to be talking about famous composers, okay, Bach, and then Beethoven. And what you're going to do is you're going to write the answer to their question. So the first one, it wants you to do a parallel answer. So if you remember, you're playing the same, okay, you're going to play the same thing and then finish it off on a tonic. So here's the question. Sorry, I didn't play very well. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, and 3. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Then my answer, if it's parallel, and then I'm going to end on my tonic, okay? Now, down here on Beethoven, I'm doing contrasting, so I have to write something different. So let me play the question, and then we're going to kind of figure out something different for the answer. So I'm going gonna change it up a little bit. I'm gonna kind of use the same pattern. Okay, so you can figure out what you want to do to answer that, but you're going to write it in down here at the bottom. They're really having you do a lot of composing these days, which is really great because when you get into composing, it's fun and it really helps your musical abilities to be able to hear and compose. So, all right, our next page that we're going to do is technique, page 18. This is ice hockey. So we're working with our G scale again. 1, 2, and 3, and 4, and 1. So this is very similar to another thing that we've done with the C scale. And again, it's going to have you play slow, moderate, and then fast as you get better and better at it. So here comes the example of this one. And it's loud. This is hockey, so I guess it's pretty loud. Okay, 1, 2, ready, go. 1, 2, and 3. Actually, playing through this, it is a little trickier than it looks because you have a bunch of ties. So I'm going to play my dun da 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 dun dun, and I'm going to hold this, and I'm not going to play this again. Da 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 dun. And this one is then going to tie, and I don't play that again. Okay, so you have all of these ties through here. So just make sure that you hold those, and you don't play them again. So don't play again. Don't play again, don't play again, okay? So make sure that you recognize that and heed to those ties. Okay, all right, so our lesson book, we have a little bit to do, but it's just the same. The G major scale, talking about the tonic to the dominant and leading tone back to the tonic, okay? So down here, these are really similar to those other ones with the C scale. So I'm going to sing my little song. Sing and play with me. Let's do this together. So get your fingers set and ready on G, and let's count off and sing it together. 1, 2, ready, go. Tonic up to dominant and leading tone to G. Obviously, I'm not a voice lesson teacher. I'm just a piano teacher, so sorry about my not so good voice. But good little song to remember what they are. And then down here at the bottom, you're doing the same thing where you're going 1, 2, 3, thumb under. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 4. And your left hand is contrasting that. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And coming up here, you're just practicing your G scale. Da, 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 a little bit faster, a little bit faster. And the same thing here. You start on your low G. And just always remember that F sharp. Okay, and you're going to do that all the way up the piano. Okay, and then switch over to your right as you get past middle C. Okay, and then keep going. Okay, so you're going to just go all the way up the piano and practice those G scales till they're really good. Okay, and we get to have a fun little song with a teacher duet here. So I'll give you the example. This is Vive la France. Now, it actually teaches you something very important here. So before we start, let's look at it. It's talking about the key signature. So the G major scale has one F sharp. A piece in the key of G major will also use one F sharp instead of a plain F. A sharp is not written before every F. Instead, an F sharp is shown at the beginning of each staff. This is called the key signature. So if I have an F sharp listed here, that means that every F in my whole song is going to be sharp unless it has a natural sign. So looking at this, this F, it doesn't have any sharp sign, but I know that it is a sharp because of my sign here, okay? My F sharp at the beginning in the key signature. And because it has one F sharp, I know that I'm in the key of G, okay? So this song isn't too difficult. It's got some dynamics, okay? Softs to louds, loud to softs. And that's about it. So we're in the key of G here. So just remember your F sharp. So we're gonna start here up at the high G, and my 5 finger is actually gonna be here on the G below middle C. Okay, so I'll count us off. 1, 2, 3. Now, it actually tells you to go ahead and write in all of these other sharps, these F sharps at the beginning of the measures, just give you a little practice. So let's go ahead and do that with the teacher duet now. You're going to come in after 3 beats this time, and it's going to go a little faster. And at the very end, don't slow down for the retardando, just because that way we can stay together. So, okay, here we go. 1, 2, 3. That's it for the lesson book. Moving right along. And the last thing is this theme by Hayden in our performance book, page 12 and 13. This is a fun little one too, very classical sounding. Has a teacher duet, okay? So there are just a few things. Here we are again in our key signature of G, key of G. So all of my sharps, all of my Fs are going to be sharps, so watch for those down here this time. There's a bunch where you're going to go a sharp at the bottom, okay? And you're going to be shifting your hands. So da-da-dun, shift to the 2 finger, da-dun, then shift back to the 5 finger, because you're moving up. Da-da-dun, dun, dun, da-dun, then back down. Okay, da-da-dun, dun, 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 dun. So you have to really watch those shifts. And then you're going to cross over. You can have some of those too. And then a shift here. Okay, so be very watchful of all those shifts because you'll need to do those in order to play those notes. Okay, and I'm going to give you an example. Here we go. So the counting to begin, we're going to count 1, 2, 3, and then we start on 4 and. So we have a little bit of an upbeat before our first downbeat. Okay? 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, 3, 4, and 1, 2, and 3, 4. Watch all of the slurs, the staccatos as well. Staccato, staccato, staccato. Oops, sorry. Okay, then slur to staccato. All right, so now into the teacher duet. This one you'll have the 3 beats to begin, and then we begin on the upbeat, okay? So, and it's gonna go faster than what we just played it, so just beware, okay? 1, 2, ready, oh, well, listen for the beats, sorry. 1, 2, 3. So that's a pretty fun one too. All right, and last but not least, we are going to put our hands together for our E flat scale that we were working on hands separately last week. So, whew, I'm really not the best at these. I really need to practice my scales. Okay, so if you remember, I started with my right hand to all right, so here's the thing. All right, as you're doing this, just remember our little trick about the 3 and 4 fingers, okay? On my left hand, 1, 2, 3, 2, 1, 4, 3, 2, 1, right? So I can match these as I go up, and that helps a lot. I want you to go 4 octaves. Now, I'm going to play it with a beat, and I want you to just listen to how this kind of sounds. Okay, it's going to be a 4/4 timing beat. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 2, 3, 4. 1, 1, downbeat, downbeat. Did you hear the downbeat as I was going? Okay, that's what I want you to do. I want you to play with a downbeat, and that is why we do the 4 octaves. Okay, so once you have it really well with your hands together, your fingering is good, then I want you to go ahead and put that beat in. Try to get the beat. It's hard to think, like you can't count it so much as just feel it, okay? So if you can feel the beat, okay, then you don't have to think the numbers, because when you think numbers as you're going along in a scale, it really confuses you. Because you're thinking finger numbers and all the numbers that go along with it. Just feel the beat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Does that make sense? Okay, good luck. Great job. Practice hard, get those songs passed off and prepared, and make sure you're doing the teacher duets, because that gives you a good indication if you are playing the songs correctly. With the right timing and the right notes, it should help you be able to see and recognize that. So, have a good week.